In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Dev Proxy to generate TypeSpec definition files from intercepted requests. I'm also going to show you how you can use Dev Proxy with locally running language models so that you can add in good descriptions of your API endpoints into those definition files. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get into VS Code. So quickly about TypeSpec. So TypeSpec is a minimal language inspired by TypeScript that's designed to describe APIs. Describing an API in code then enables you to compile that definition and emit different formats. So this could be documentation in the form of an open API spec, or it could be something like a client class as well that you could use in one of your projects. So like a .NET client or a Java client or a JavaScript client. So TypeSpec is packaged on NPM, so you can install that globally. And once you've installed TypeSpec, you then have the compiler which we're going to use to generate the documents from that definition. So I've got a folder here already, which I'm going to use in this project. And so what we're going to do is we're going to send requests to our JSON placeholder API, and from those requests we're going to generate a TypeSpec definition file, which then we will use to generate an open API spec document from. So first of all, let's initialize our project as a TypeSpec project. And we're going to choose the Open API document as an emitter. So the main file here is the main.tsp file. So this is our entry point. Here's where we describe our API using TypeSpec. So in this example here that it's already created for us, we can see that we have some models in here for an API that returns widgets. We also have the operations as well. So we have the get requests, the posts, the patches, deletes, and we've got other routes in there as well. So this is our API definition. Now we can generate a open API spec document by just running the compiler. And if we look in the TSP output folder, we have an open API file. So here we have our open API spec document that's been generated from that TypeSpec definition. And we can also set the compiler into watch mode as well. So for example, if we want to make changes as we go along, we can change our TypeSpec definition, and that will then reflect into the outputs as well when it's actually compiled. Okay, so TypeSpec already does a lot for us, so why would we want to use Dev Proxy? Well, Dev Proxy is a great place to start if you've already got an API and you want to document it using TypeSpec. You have to still describe your API, go through and describe the models, the operations. By using Dev Proxy, by just simply sending the requests to that API, you can let Dev Proxy handle that for you and just generate that TypeSpec definition. So it's a really good starting point as well, that then you can iterate on as you go along. So it could be an API that you own and maintain yourself, but it could also be a third-party API where there's maybe not much documentation there, and you want to fill that gap. So let's do that now. Let's use Dev Proxy to generate a TypeSpec definition for our JSON placeholder API. So first, let's create our configuration file. And in our plugins, let's add in the TypeSpec generator plugin. So this plugin can accept a configuration as well. So let's add that in for completeness. And let's add in the config section. So we can see we've got an option here for ignoring response types if we want to. So there's scenarios where you might not want to do that. You want to keep your keep your definitions nice and lean. What we'll also do here is we'll add in the JSON placeholder API because these are the requests that we want to track. So our configuration file is complete. Let's start Dev Proxy. And let's put Dev Proxy into recording mode and then go to our HTTP file and let's send through some requests. And then let's stop recording and stop Dev Proxy as well. So we can see that we have a TSP file that has been generated. So here we can see that we have our posts model, post response, a list of post response as well, and the created response. And here we've got our operations as well. So we have get post, list post, creating posts. So yeah, for all 4 of the requests, these were captured and generated in the TypeSpec definition file. Now, the document, so the description here is not great. So let's use a locally running language model to generate a better one. So to do that, let's go back to our Dev Proxy config file and let's add in the language model property and set enabled to true. Now I also just want to make sure that I have my model running. So for this I'm going to use Llama 3.2. which is now running. So now we can repeat the process. So if we start Dev Proxy, and again, put Dev Proxy into recording mode, and send the API requests through. Let's just do the first 4, and then let's stop recording. We can see that the TypeSpec file has been generated as well. Let's stop Dev Proxy and let's take a look at the generated response. There we go. So get a post with its ID, create a new blog post, update a blog post as well. So we can use the local model to help us do that as well. So we've got lots of requests that we've got going through. Again, it's just going to save us time in the long run to generate those using a language model as well. Now, next step is now we've got our TypeSpec definition is we want to create an open API spec. So in this project, everything, our entry point is the main.tsp file. So what we want to do, let's just delete the 2 files that we no longer need and rename this to main.tsp. And then we can go back to our compiler. So run the compiler, which will generate the open API spec, and here we are. So now we've got our open API spec for our API that we use Dev Proxy to help generate for us, and also generate the TypeSpec definition file as well. Okay, great. So I just showed you how you can use Dev Proxy to generate a TypeSpec definition file from the intercepted request, and how you can use a locally running language model to generate descriptions to put into your TypeSpec definition files. So if you want to learn any more about Dev Proxy, go to aka.ms/devproxy, find all our documentation, and just want to say thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.